Alrighty. Good evening, everybody. It is 8:38 Eastern Time. I'm about to go ahead and get straight to it, taking your guys' request until 9:30. So, one second, I'm gonna go ahead and pop out this chat. What's up? Good evening, good evening. First, second. Y'all, it's a race. What's up, everybody? What's up, Antonio and Brian? Appreciate all those kind words in the testimonial chat. Introduce your, that was awesome. Third person owes $1. I appreciate those little tips, man. They add up, and yeah, most of those go to my son's. The like little miscellaneous tips, those go to my son's future Robinhood. Just kidding. TOS. Any news on stocks after market? Yes, Tyler, about to go through a whole slew of news on stocks here in just a minute. If you give me just 1 second, about to pull that up. We're gonna go ahead and get to it. Sure, people are piling in. All right. We're going to recap today and make a watch list as well. But first, we are going to go ahead and go over the news. All right. So, right off the bat, guys, going over the daily rip. So far, closing prints today, S&P 500 4405, up 0.13%. Oh, yeah, there we go. Sorry, let me not stream this directly. All right, so there, that's a little better. We're partnered, but not that close. NASDAQ, by the way, those of you just jumping in, we are now partnered with Benzinga Pro. Rose pulled over 200. Appreciate you, man. But anyway, so we are now partnered with Benzinga Pro. So if you guys are looking for a discount, you can DM us on Twitter or wherever that is, and we'll get that to you. So, anyway, NASDAQ up 0.11%, Russell down 0.22%, the Dow down 0.19%. Going over the market in general, tech towered pretty much over all of these sectors. We saw S&P gains, but mostly the stocks. We had a few stocks run, but a lot of stocks kind of sitting flat. XLK gained about 0.98%. Real estate and consumer staples were the spotlights of strength as well. Oil tumbled for the 6th consecutive session, falling to levels not seen since May. So maybe we ought to take a look at those. So let's see. Energy ETF XLE erased about 2.6% of its gains, or really just 2.6, but all of the gains it had made previously are now gone. So let's see here. Wow, Cardano, Bitcoin, and Ethereum up over 4%. Our Cardano, you know what? And you want to know something? I'm going to send you guys a screenshot. I sold half of my Cardano for no reason. I just woke up and I literally just sold it. I don't even know why. It's stupid. What is the red day equivalent of yuck? Just yuck would probably be where I would. Was nice to see your composure under some red pressure today. Yeah, that was not the most fun open. I will admit, we're going to go over that for sure. So, let's see here. I don't think TikTok likes that angle. All right, so let's see. All right. Yeah. Damn feds, that's right. Okay, so let's finish up here. Anyway, so a couple of headlines to go over. The semiconductor shortage has caused problems for pretty much all of the industries, but the most affected industry is arguably the automobiles, which has lost out on billions of dollars after being forced to cut production on new vehicles. So why did these automakers cut production? Well, with COVID on the rise, many companies expected suppressed demand. For months, unfortunately, the opposite happened, and there was no getting back no getting back that production, and then they have sold off. So once the pandemic and semi shortage are behind us, the automotive industry will have lost around 110 billion, according to one consulting firm. Today, Toyota announced that it would cut its September output by 40%, citing the chip shortage. The company warded off a bad chip mojo for months, steering clear of the shortage by stockpiling, monitoring supplies. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of manufacturing that you could do with those semiconductor chips. Toyota will suspend manufacturing of 14 plants throughout September. So just to give you a look into that affliction, if you will. So yeah, Toyota. Let me retweet this really quick. Alright, yeah, cool. Okay, so, sorry. Alrighty, we also mentioned here after hours that amidst this shortage, politicians and companies have made moves to mitigate future shortages. The U.S. has asked Taiwan for help. Yeah, so that's about it. Wow. So going into, we're just going to go over a little Amazon headline here, and then we'll keep it moving. So the words Amazon and retail are usually used together in one context when people talk about Amazon, and they are killing it. E-commerce giant's latest plan, however, positioned for a lot more direct competition with Target, Best Buy, Walmart, and other big box retailers. That's because Amazon plans to open brick and mortar stores to compete with traditional department stores. Now, for me, I think that's more targeted at Costco, like those type of stocks. So I may be looking at Costco to potentially be affected, because you think that Amazon would actually potentially, open it would be more of a bulk store. I can't imagine, just a singular store for Amazon, but whoops. Sorry, 1 second. God dang it. All right. So anyway, that is ridiculous. So in the last few years, Amazon has subtly advanced into brick and mortar stores with the acquisition of Whole Foods, trials in its checkout-free Amazon Go stores, and partnerships with Kohl's. However, the company's latest plan is to make a much big push than its previous ventures, opening up brick and mortar stores that could even accommodate the company's shipping and last mile efforts. The news sent big box retailers lower, with Target falling about 0.88%, BBY down 31%, and Amazon also fell today, dropping about 0.4%. So last one, guys, we talked about this one, only OF. I can't say it because of the platform that we're on, but they are no longer allowing you to take your clothes off. That's how I'll leave it at that. So that actually, I know this sounds absolutely ridiculous, but I was having a conversation about it, and that actually could send traffic Snapchat's way. And I think that you may hear a headline similar to that coming up in the future, that Snapchat could potentially benefit from that, which is kind of weird, but it is market research, weirdly. Okay, so anyway, that's about it for me going over as far as the news is concerned. We'll go over some other top news here. Earnings, though. Just a quick recap of the earnings that we had. Some of the bigger names. We had Estee Lauder EPS 78 cents versus the 51% share. They actually did really well today on their earnings. Revenue was 3.94 billion, up 62% year over year. Let's see here. Also, Macy's. I tell you what, Macy's is another trade that we caught today, and that one I had a little FOMO on. I'm not gonna lie. Second, okay. Anyway, they had earnings per share at $1.29 versus the 22 cent estimate, absolutely crushing that. Revenue, it was really quick, and I should have been able to get that news, but this morning, if anybody went long on that or played that one, that was over 100% play. So revenue was 5.65 billion, up 59% year over year. AMAT EPS was $1.09 versus the $1.76. Revenue was 6.2 billion, up 41 cents year over year, so beating the estimates as well. So, alrighty. All right, so let's go ahead and go over all right. All right, so let's go ahead and get to it. Recapping today, really quick. Small accounts. We got DNUT. This one actually climbed above $15. I signaled a little YOLO. I also signaled a contract out the next week. Those were up over 100%. This one coming out of, and we'll keep it small for now, but this one's coming out of a downtrend here. Right about there. So nice break today. Krispy Kreme has more juice in it. Well, maybe not that word. It has more cream filling. So above $15 tomorrow. The 200-day EMA is at $15.50. It did reject the Simply Stacking Money. That's right. So at the 1531 mark or high of day today, but we talk about this all the time. Anytime you get a breakout, especially on a higher time frame, normally you're going to end up getting that bounce, especially off of like 14, off of that psychological number. So you get a bounce off of 1450, which is also your downtrend here. So I would suspect that we could see DNUT moving up. They did have good earnings, so likely see some continuation there. That's interesting. So today, I want to go over Lowe's. Not the most fun trade for me. And in fact, it is more than likely, we'll see how it opens up or if it gaps up or gaps down. But this one ended up just trading very slowly but surely up to that previous high with very high volume towards the end of the day. But on this trade, guys, I will admit, I think yesterday, seeing that pre-market break and then that really, really strong rush, I thought we may see continuation the same way that we saw yesterday. Looking at the channel break, we opened up a new 5-minute candle above that channel, and I really should have opened up my pivots, but it was the new 5-minute candle was running up to 203, and I got my fill. I ended up going red almost immediately. I held for potential retest off of the support, but I could tell that volume was starting to dissipate. So I ended up being red on this trade, and it completely reversed. So I didn't even get much of a bounce, but we ended up bottoming out. I averaged down, and I ended up coming out green, and I left one of the contracts that I was really red on, and we're gonna see what happens to it. I didn't like that it gapped down to 201.21 in after hours, but let me turn that off. But yeah, so with lows, guys, I'm watching this one tomorrow for potential continuation. But we went red on that one. You guys can go watch that whole trade this morning if you guys weren't on live. We went over, or you guys watched me have to kind of pivot through that trade. And I mean, it definitely was frustrating, but I just tried to keep it together and let it ride. So Microsoft, this one was actually, I ended up catching this one late. I saw this one at 291. And I ended up getting preoccupied with another trade. But as it kind of broke out, it showed me a lot of strong momentum, and volume was really, really high. So I went ahead and I signaled for those calls. I think a couple of you guys got the 295s. I got the $300 calls. Those ones, I don't know if you guys swung those, but the Microsoft is in a daily channel. And I think it's going to go hit the top of the channel at around 305, and then potentially reverse from there. So anyway, Microsoft was another trade that we had, and then Macy's. So Macy's just absolutely parabolic run this morning. This one was taken around 1980. You can see here in pre-market, that was that initial pop. And so I ended up taking it at that orb or pre-market high. And this one I ended up exiting at 21, but it did run all the way to 22 and some change. So it's one of those things that happens. So, all right. Oh my God. All right, sorry about that. Macy's actually looks good for a potential continuation tomorrow above 22.18. So, all right. So let's see here. Also, guys, I am trading pre-market almost every day. Make sure you guys have alerts on my channel. That's the Dumbledore channel. I'll change the name if you guys need me to, back to just Garrett or Garrett Signals or whatever. But this morning I did signal PCMB at $5.73. Those of you who are getting into options and aren't quite in the place where you can actually take those and trade them and, you know, navigate them, or your broker's kind of crappy. Oh, thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. Hold on 1 second. All right. Anyway, so let's see here. You guys, if you want, can go ahead and start dropping your requests in the chat, and I'll get to them. That's hilarious. All right, so anyway, yeah, PCMB pre-market. You guys saw that one. That one ended up running. I think. Oh, it actually, yeah, it ended up pulling back. I think we got that one at 5 something. Or was that yesterday? Hold on 1 second. No, I signaled. Where did I drop that at? The point is, make sure you guys are hopping in the morning, or have your alert set. I'm trying to be up earlier, especially on Mondays and Fridays and Thursdays to try and trade a little bit, especially if there's any pre-market movement. So, all right, let's see here. What are you guys looking at tonight? Oh, shit. All right. Usually it can be as early as 5:30 Eastern time. I usually alert people for pre-market. I'd say around 7:30 to 8 o'clock, but it all depends on if I see anything. I'm not gonna hop on if there's nothing there, but usually in the Discord, I'm gonna go ahead and alert everybody that I'm on. So, all right. That's so funny. Okay, so you got Riot, TM. All right, so let's take a look at Riot. All right, so how's Bitcoin doing? Yo, we nailed that breakout on Bitcoin today. Oh my God, that's on camera too, Jesus. Yo, wow, what a breakout. Nice. So yeah, more than likely you're gonna see a big gap up on Riot. Obviously this all depends on how we continue to the upside. So looking at Riot right now, it looks very similar to Bitcoin in that fashion. So if you pull this downtrend down here, I'm actually going to pull this down to the bodies. It shows a little bit more respect here. So the 50-day EMA, which is sitting at 32, so basically $33, above $33, and then the initial push up to, I would imagine this 50-day, or excuse me, 200-day EMA on the hourly. It's one of my favorite moving averages for respect, and that's at 34.30, likely to move down around 34 even. So watch Riot above 34. If it gaps up, that's a different story, but not too shabby there. You could end up breaking out and hitting that 33.85 and we're pulling back, but it does look like it's primed to potentially break downtrend here. So. Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and let's take a peek at TM and UVXY. All right, let's get it. Sorry. Yeah, okay, I got that right. You want to chart Toyota? So, massive double top here, if you want to look at it that way. Rejection off of that 186. This one is filling a massive gap here. On the daily, that one's going to probably go hit 167 on the dot. You've got a major support here around 162.75. Throwing the pivot points up on here on the daily. I would imagine it's about time for you to see somewhat of a bounce. So looking at this one, momentum is still shifting, but you do need some sort of a bounce now that everything is so far out of reach. So I would watch it below 167.50 and then above for a retest to shoot up to 172, more than likely the 50-day EMA. So all right, let's go ahead and do UVXY. So this is, of course, running always inverse to the market or to SPY. So far here on UVXY, just like always, just like when we see SPY pull back, we see the UVXY kind of pop here on the daily. Everything's kind of squished. I'll chart it this way. So at the moment, I'm not even going to bother with this, but at the moment, I would probably suspect that we're forming some type of symmetrical triangle, right? So something like that. That's probably more than likely. So I would imagine another trip up to around 29, I guess, where you could potentially see a wick there. But further consolidation is highly likely in this zone. So, okay. Yeah, diamond hands on D-Nut for sure. D-Nut was crazy. DE, Carve, AHBI, and Foot Locker earnings tomorrow. That is for. What does the Tapper do? What is Tapper? All right, what else are you guys watching? Yeah, no problem. All right, let's see what we got. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate you. Let's take a look at DE. What other stocks could we look at for you guys? Alright, so DE, oof, this one's changed trend heavy. Definitely big rejection there. It's heading down to the pivot. The pivot right now is at 350. So that is highly likely with a rejection like that. It is highly likely that you would get a retest. So check this out right here. You can even take this off. But I would suspect a retest of around 365 is highly likely for Deer. 364.50 is also a good mark potentially here on the daily. You can see that usually after a big leg down like this, usually you'll get some sort of bounce. You do have a very mild gap to fill here, so that is a potential here as well. Who is this? Thank you. You always retweet my videos, and I appreciate it. Let's see here. Of course, no problem. What's up, Robert? INTC and Baba? Of course. INTC is at the bottom of this channel that we talked about here. This chart is a fucking mess. Excuse my language. Jesus. Alright, so what is going on here? So we're gap filled here on INTC. I'm gonna just go ahead and just remove all of this. Okay, so that's a very clean resistance, very clean support here. INTC, almost like a falling wedge. So it is highly likely. You also have a gap to fill starting at 54.63, really to 55 at the 20, and then at the most 56.18. But honestly, right now, with the way that things are, it's going to take a lot. So anything, it could actually be the point in which we break. So it's 1, 2, 3, bounces off support right now, and that's more than likely where you're going to see a bounce here on INTC. So anytime you make this pattern, usually you're going to see price consolidation as that occurs. So you see right here, 1, 2, 3, and a lot of times you'll go and make a move up here, consolidate, maybe see a breakout. You do have a massive gap here starting at 60 and ending at 62.32. So there's that gap here. Gaps always get filled one way or the other, and INTC likes making gaps. It's a pastime of INTCs apparently. So okay. Hey Tyler, appreciate it, dude. That's awesome. You guys are sick. All right, so let's hit Baba. Baba. Yo, we are going to make. Listen, look at my eyes. We are going to make so much money on Baba and Baidu when this FUD happens. Peyton, we are going to make so much money on Baidu. Did you make a whole cheese plate?
I did.
Whoa, look at this, yo.
It's not the prettiest, but.
Yo, look at. Hold on. Hold on. Am I a real streamer? Is this one of those streamer moments where you just. Where somebody brings you a cheese platter? I mean, like, look at this. Look at this cheese. Look at it's not. I mean, the honey is in the plastic bowl.
It's not. Well, we have bowls, but they're all too big.
Yeah, I guess that's too much honey. So, wow.
There's never too much honey.
Thank you. Wow, I appreciate that.
Okay, I'll be in here to eat some.
Cool. All right, back to the charts. I know, right? That was sick. I'm allergic to everything on that plate. No, I'm just kidding. So Baba right now, this is crazy. We're actually going to have to go ahead and take a step out to the weekly time frame, right? Because now we're going to need to get an idea of where this thing could bounce. Like, where are the buyers on Baba as it continues to sell off? And it makes me wonder, is there something that is known? How long? And we can't predict this, guys. If we start seeing, the only way that we can predict this is with potential price action. And of course, if short sellers are gonna let bulls take over for just a little while once you get to certain levels. Obviously, levels like 150, those are big levels for Baba. So it's absolutely positively a very, very scary stock to play. Today, I a lot of the times, guys, I see so many opportunities in the market, but sometimes just by telling you guys, and the awesome thing is that a lot of you guys know how to. And this is the beauty, right? This is what I want to accomplish, is that everybody can hear someone say, because in my opinions, I think just signals are crap. But if you heard a signal and you could go, or you saw a major flow and you could go and look at a chart and see that, that's why I tell people, hey, look at that. Like, or hey, watch Baba here below this level if you guys want to play puts. Because like, I obviously, if I took every play that I told you guys that I saw, I would either A, be broke and not be doing this, or B, maybe filthy rich. Who knows? But I wouldn't. I'm going to stick to what I know at the moment. My wife was tired because I threw some left rice and was left with sushi meat. We're not always living that way. That's just. I found it at the store today.
This hasn't happened in a while.
Yeah, we haven't made a cheese plate in a minute, so.
Yeah.
So we've been busy. I would say right now the psychological number of 150 is highly likely. I think looking at the hourly time frame, Baba could be good for a bounce to 164 tomorrow. That's also where the 20-day EMA. So you'll notice here, guys, and this can end up paying you rather well if you make sure. And let me also say this: find the correlating time frame, right? That the EMAs that you use, right? So I think I used JMIA 2-hour time frame, 50-day EMA. That's its bounce levels. I don't know why. That's just where it bounced. We've gone over this chart many times. 2-hour time frame, 50-day EMA, and we especially back here on its bull run, you know, we found that, look at that. I mean, look at the 50, that's the pink line there. So many rejections, bounces. Look at the bounces here. The wicks, I mean, you specifically have wicks that come down and step down. So you can actually almost find the personality of a stock, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. But so anyway, for BABA, the 20 EMA right here is its leading caller, I guess, if you will, at the 165 level. So we'll see that one for a bounce. BABA has so many gaps. Hopefully they get filled eventually, and hopefully we're riding this thing to the upside. So, and I tell you, I'll make up for it. It was crackers and brie. Can you put brie on top of soup? Yeah, absolutely. Put brie and some what? Hot pepper jelly. Anyway, so look, P. Like that's a tip. It's a little pear. It's a pear, like working out on YouTube. Keep it up. How are we getting rich, Mr. Fancy Cheese Man? Be greedy when others are fearful. Yeah, I think there's a fear, and then there's a like, okay, like China and us are like at each other's throats, and until the problem is resolved, and I think we'll see that in the chart. So I think like it may be around 150 that I start buying this. So why are there so many gaps? Because it has such bad news. It's just going to continue to do so, and it's steamrolling right now. Bear's an easy target for bears. I'm not going to touch it now at these levels. Likely, I don't think it's just going to continue to parabolically dump. I'd rather play it up, maybe even for a 170 retest. What the hell?
It's probably
It's a bachelorette party.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we get for living next to Airbnb. Okay, so anyway, we got Baba down. Let's go ahead and look at Uba. You know what? They should be making money for charging $26 to bring a coffee to your house. Hey, yuck, what? Yeah, because that is ridiculous. Some of the charges. I mean, I get it. I mean, the people who drive need money, so. But jeez. Okay, wow. Look at that, y'all. Ugh. We are dropping to some major supports here on Uber. It's at a pivot point, Mobo. And in fact, now that I see this chart, I'm going to take this off. I think I do. So right here, I think this is going to end up being a falling wedge. Even if it doesn't, right now it's holding right here. No. I'll eat it in just a minute. Anyway, yeah, Baba has some major gaps. What'd you say? Looked at Baba and see the gaps. Yeah, the gaps are everywhere. Right now, guys, we are getting back down to IPO levels. IPO levels, I think, for Uber is somewhere around like 38.64. So Uber, after this pullback, is definitely looking for a bounce. The bounce is likely to go to around 42 for a retest, 43 for a retest. But everything is not looking good for Uber, and I don't know how many years they've gone without making a solid profit. So I don't know, looking at this chart, and you know, I may not even be correct with this little support line that I have. Let me look at something else. Let me just double check my work. Okay, so we're right here, and that's definitely a major support break. Okay, so I would anticipate, just at this point, I would anticipate some sort of relief bounce, right? Because at some point you just gotta bounce. I'm trying to see exactly, and I think that's where I just got my top resistance wrong. So this is kind of what I'm thinking here, Mobile Top. I think starting off of this high, running it off of here, that Uber could potentially see a nice push up to around 48, or even maybe just a $46 level. It needs a big bounce. You saw the buyers at this level. If it breaks down lower, then of course 35 into the 30s we go. But that's the issue, is that we broke $40 and we may see people come in to correct this. So we'll watch this one tomorrow for a bounce, but anywhere below that IPO level, and I think we spill some serious beans. All right. What are the stonks? All right, so we got Uber. How are we getting rich, Mr. Fancy Cheese Man? If we just waited until, I just like that. I just wanted to read it again. If we just wait until Baba and Baidu news, we could just play that and just be rich on that. So I looked at Baba. Okay, got you. I'm on YouTube right now. If you guys on TikTok want to actually see my screen this way, it does include my face, which is not as nice as the screen, but and you can't chart it. All right, so Uber. What did we say we got? We got NVIDIA. So NVIDIA. I can't believe I forgot NVIDIA, guys. I completely forgot that we played NVIDIA. We need to go over this play. Wow. I'm a whole dingus right now. So basically today, I want to go over this play really quickly, because this is the perfect play. For me, it's the perfect play. I'm gonna tell you guys a story. So once there was a semiconductor stock. So right here we have 195, right? That's a psychological number. We know NVIDIA's got to break that. Pre-market, we run up to it, right? Now, when pre-market highs get broken, that's when you guys get faked out. And I just mean by you guys, I mean retail. So we always want to wait for that candle close, candle push, even if that means going and watching it on the hourly to make sure that we know that we're closing above that mark, 15-minute mark, whatever that may be. So we immediately get a rejection, right? And if you're watching and comparing SMH, and that's exactly what I did. I hopped on and I think I talked to people about how SMH was moving. Now, what happened here on SMH is we ended up getting this almost just, it's a long-legged doji, but it is a reversal sign, right? So you get buyers try and bounce it here, sellers try and take it down, no winners, and then you end up getting a nice reversal, high volume, and a pullback. Now, just looking at where SMH was, it was in dire need of a retest of this downtrend, and that is exactly switching to YouTube. Cool, yeah, we're on YouTube now, so thank you guys, I appreciate that. And we'll take your request on there. We have about 10 minutes until I'm going to stop taking requests. So if you've already got a request, just wait for the request to slow down, throw them back in there. But at 9:30, guys, I'm gonna stop it. That way I'm done by 10. But anyway, so I was watching our major semiconductor. I knew that it was going to need to get a bounce off of support. You guys can see that here with this line. It's kind of moved itself. But we're in this massive rising wedge type deal. So I knew that we were likely going to get a bounce. And then with NVIDIA, so when we got that initial pullback, right? And I'll go here to the 15-minute for just a moment. When we got that initial reversal, right? When a stock, here's the deal. Let me make this black and white. When a stock doesn't go down, and especially with, and this is why it's so important to set alerts on the correlating ETF, because a lot of times the ETF will show you the bounce before the stock does. And a lot of people don't watch their correlate. If you have a specific sector that you're playing, watch that specific sector. Now, so with SMH, looking for that bounce, we knew that we could see a real life reversal on NVIDIA. And I think we even talked about NVIDIA in pre-market about where it was at in this wedge. Now, I didn't expect it to pump so far and so hard, but this did play directly into our analysis. Stay there, camera. So what happened with the NVIDIA today was on top of this downtrend that we previously held. We ended up bouncing, I think it was yesterday, and then today we saw continuation off of that support 200-day EMA bounce. How's it going? Good evening. We're on YouTube right now if you guys want to join us. So with NVIDIA, if you go down back down here to the 5, as far as a scalping play, what are we looking for when we're taking weekly contracts? We're looking for really, really strong volume. So as the stock goes to that 188 level, right? And I think we hit 187.50. Yeah, so 187.50, and then we get a strong bounce, right? So when you're in a downtrend, you're usually looking for your 9-day moving average, one of those bullish or bearish moving averages, to be that retest or rejection level. So as we go and we bounce up, if you climb above the whole ribbon indicator, above your 250 and 20-day EMA, that's why I have them there, because once we climb above them, because buying occurs below the moving averages, right, in order to get it above it. And so if I see that effort to get it above it, I know that there's a chance to essentially go and push highs. So if you caught the dip, and I know some of you on YouTube mentioned that you were able to catch the dip on NVIDIA today, this is, even if you took this as a textbook play, breakout level here at 195.15, and added a $200 strike rate contract, that's where you can scale into something. And honestly, guys, when you're day trading, scalping, I watch the 1 minute along with the 5, right? Because what's going to happen here is I can find my bullish moving average here. You see the 9-day moving average climbing up, and we ride that 9 all the way up until we hit 202.73. This was a absolutely amazing. What are my trade times? I trade the bell and I'm up really early, usually in the morning around 8 o'clock, 7:30 to kind of do pre-market pennies. But I do 1 minute trades. I do swing trades. I do whatever it takes to make the loot. So anyway, so for NVIDIA, guys, absolutely wonderful play, but looking out into tomorrow is the question. And I just wanted you guys to see that setup. Take a picture of that setup, because that is a awesome setup. When you get that initial dip down and then you find the support, and that's why it's so important to know where everything is at. If you know that and I know I'm going on and on, so I'm gonna shut up, but it's just exciting stuff, to find support levels and being able to track them and chart them out. And I'm not quite sure if the pivots on this are going to line up. Yeah, they did. So even the pivots right there, we hit S1 and we bounce and we go and we hit we hit the pivot point. So SMH climbs above the pivot point tomorrow, 257.18, and we could see semiconductors skyrocket. And so what you saw today was at least for NVIDIA, you saw a breakout, and then what was going to end up being a retest, but I think market conditions pulled this one back underneath its support. You'll notice that on NVIDIA, retail buyers are there, buyers are present. They just had earnings. Earnings were fantastic, and we have seen movement like this. And in fact, if you look at the hourly here on the SMH semiconductor ETF, you'll notice, right, that it's ended the day with a bull flag up against downtrend. That's very, very bullish. So on NVIDIA, we need to get above that whole ribbon indicator. We need to hold 200-day EMA. What this candle here shows me is a whole lot of indecision, and the fact that sellers were taking a short position and are likely doubling down at these levels. That's just my opinion. That's not a fact. I can't tell you that for certain. But looking at this candle and just looking at the climate right now, I think people saw this as a potential easy short, with retail likely trying to push this one back up after earnings. So anyway, for NVIDIA tomorrow, I would likely suspect a pullback to 195 or 196.50, which is the 20-day EMA, and or 196.75, in between that dollar range. Otherwise, or if we can muster some sort of bounce, 199.20, right above the 9-day moving average where it's currently marked at. 199.15 could be a mark for it to start curling up, and that's what you're going to be looking for. Is not necessarily a jerk up, but more or less a curl, and that's a pattern or a setup that is something that you should look for, is when something pulls back strong and then ends up flatlining. So this right here is good in a sense where sellers are unable to take it lower, but we need to see it start curling up and get above that 9-day moving average here. Thank you, I appreciate that. I kind of went hard on the video there, so. All right, if anybody has any more last requests, go ahead and put those in there. Sorry, I was trying to do two things at once and it was not working. My brain was about to explode. That's awesome. Oh, you're doing $1 to $2 like gains in your brokerage. I got you. Okay, so I think it's just a matter on NVIDIA. Set an alert right here at 198, or 199.15, and set an alert at the HMA 197.50 to the downside. And then, you know, look at where we're at. We're in a really choppy area with this stock right now, so we're gonna need to see either whatever move it makes. It needs to. Senor Nix, yeah, I TP'd today because of that rejection, but it's always room to jump back in tomorrow. So, alrighty, let's go ahead and keep it moving, guys. Thoughts on SPY tomorrow? So that's probably something we should have already done, but anyway. Okay, so we are still in trend, or at least downtrend, as far as I'm concerned. Running it off of this high, pulling this down right here. You'll notice that we are basically being are kind of consolidating here underneath this downtrend. Now, we're not out of the woods, because as you notice in previous downtrends that we hold, there's always usually at least another green day. You can even see here, SPY pops, drops, and of course the climate was a little bit different, but there are no straight lines. So today bounces, not unusual, but ending the day here on SPY, we ended up seeing multiple rejections off of that trend line. So I would suspect, and I'm actually going to pull that down nice and tight right there, and you can see it is well respected. So check that out. So anywhere below, right, I would mark this at so basically below 438.50. This one's likely going to go down and I would say even test these lows. Otherwise, it is highly likely that this is, and I'm not quite too sure. Let's go to the 5-minute really quickly. Okay, I wasn't too far off. There we go. All right, so it looks like, and I'm not too quite like 100%, but it looks like we tried to go and break that tiny little support there. If you guys are just tuning in, we're on YouTube right now. The link is in the bio. Or if you guys are on TikTok. But the one thing that I will say is on the lower time frame, we did get that double top. And so it does look like we could potentially see further downside in anywhere past 437.50. So set your alerts. And in fact, it might not be a terrible idea. Yeah, so we have actually closed below our hourly pivot points, 4-hour pivot points, and then if you look at the daily, we are the pivot point. I'm so fucked. This shit is, damn, that is so money. I'm sorry. The pivot point is sitting on top of the 50 EMA. which is where we always bounce. So hopefully we get the trampolini off the 50-day EME. That didn't rhyme, but I tried. The 434.24. So if we do continue the downside, that's the next mark that we're going to be watching for. We're actually going to set alert right around here. There. Oh. As long as Bitcoin continues, then yes, we're on YouTube right now. You are a banana. All right, Carl. It's in the bio. Link is in the bio for YouTube. It's Simple Stacks Investing. Okay, so Uber starting to sell ads on their platform. Oh God, watch Uber pick up OnlyFans. No, I'm just kidding. That's ridiculous. Be greedy. Let's see. So we got NVIDIA. We got Uber, SPY, VIAC, and DD. So VIAC and DD here. Alright, yeah, we're on YouTube, guys, right now. Alright, so VIAC, Viacom. This is ye old Comcast. The devil. Alright, so let's go ahead and clean this up just a little bit. Alright, so it actually appears this this has a really nice setup, at least for a potential bounce. It looks like it's kind of got this flag going here, and I would venture to guess that's about what that looks like. You've got a level right here that it's currently holding, so that's the 39.50. Below 39.50, you will likely go to 39 even. That is almost guaranteed. So watch that below 39.50, and you will likely see the bottom of that channel where it could end up being a good place to dip by. But looking at this daily time frame here, you're sitting on S1 and you're really trading relatively flat. So it's going to be pretty important that you break to the upside and get above the pivot point. The pivot point on the hourly right now is at basically $40. And that is where you're going to need to break. So I would make sure that you set alert maybe a few cents below and a few cents above. That way you don't get caught up or lose any ground on that. So, waiting for that video. Yes, I am getting that psychological video. I'm sorry, guys. All right, NVIDIA Z. Do you want me to look at DD? Because DD is just like Baba. It needs the juice, the China juice. Maybe that's not the best. It needs the lack of China FUD. So DD right now is getting to the $7 support psychological. Any ideas on making that trading journal? What do you mean about like actually making one to sell or something like that? Or what do you mean? So as far as DD concerned, I could only hope for a double bottom here at 650 or a double bottom here at 7. Yeah, I have been, like I said, if anybody knows anything about making a like that kind of stuff, hit me up. But otherwise, I've got a lot that I'm working on right now, to be honest with you. So, but my design for it, I think, is rather unique in the way that, you know, you can record the environment. It's going to be more like a sniper's handbook, I guess, in a way. So if you were a sniper in the military, hit me up in person, not via sniper, please. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. All right, so we got Z and Vuzi. So Zillow. Oh, that's not it. All right, so not looking super great, my guy. I don't like this at 11. I like it at 11 for a potential bounce. I will say that, but it doesn't look like it's showing any signs of really slowing down. If you guys are just hopping in, we're on YouTube Live. Links in the bio. But anyway, so for Vuzi here, and it's probably worth setting up these pivot points. You can see that this thing is absolutely just plummeted from its original highs all the way around $32. Right now, it is about to go and try for the $11 break. Below $11, I just call it right at $10. $10, $8.15. So anywhere in that range, you do, or it looks like you did have earnings, and that catalyst has passed. So unless something in the future, like an acquisition or a partnership, that's likely what would be something that moves forward. We're on the YouTube right now if you guys want to hop on and drop those. So links in the bio. All right. Also, hold on. I just wanted to make sure I was getting this right. I don't want to draw that yet. I don't think that's correct. I want to say that is a mark, right? So like right there, and that was just a correction, and that this thing could possibly go and retest at 1250 for a breakout. But that would be about all I could offer as far as like what an alternative perspective here that I could be missing. So I'm on YouTube Live right now if you guys are looking at that or looking to oops. The link is in the bio if you guys are asking me to look at something. So this is Zillow, next request here. So Zillow is in a strong downtrend here, coming off of what is pretty much I wouldn't say a textbook head and shoulders, but definitely a strong head and shoulders there. I was about 2 months too early on the cat head and shoulders, and actually a lot of head and shoulders. So, okay, so I can already see that Zillow has a little bit of price consolidation happening here. I'm gonna go ahead and fix up this support. So give that a gander. Decent downtrend here. Pull that down. All right, so this by definition would likely be a falling wedge, right? Hey, what's up, Atlas? Thanks, man. If you'll let people know that we're on YouTube at the moment, the link is in the bio. So, anyway, this one looks like it could start bouncing, right, and go for a retest of $100, and that would likely happen around the $90 mark again. And you can see that buyers stepped up at that level here on the daily, right? That takes a lot of juice here. In order to lift a stock up, from 89, and that's usually what you'd like to see in a reversal, high volume. But again, this one rejected the $95 level and a very small gap here, and it's continuing. Yeah, link is in the bio for. If earnings are out tomorrow, then it's likely outside of a chart. So. So I would anticipate for Zillow below that $85 mark. Go ahead and set out some levels rather than a dynamic support. So you have this level here. That's the $85 level. That is a psychological level. Makes total sense. And that could and would likely be the next level that Zillow would find. And in fact, hey, I apologize. I need to correct that. So no falling wedge on this one, just a channel. So this channel bounce is actually, you're kind of floating in free space here, and you could end up, you could end up seeing a pullback to that $85 mark. Below $90, and I'm actually going to set an alert there at that $90 break. There we go, 90.22. We'll set an alert there, and I would be suspecting some sort of a bounce before you break down, or a retest maybe of 96 again. But if you guys want me to do that, hop into YouTube. So Link is in the bio, right here. All right, what other selections we got? It's 9:43. Yep. You need help with the indicators. No, I'm not getting off at 9:30. I was just stopped taking some of your requests. So I know that I'm answering this hella late, but yeah, we got VISA, GRIN. All right. Oh yeah, a lot on Friday. I have no idea what the hell this is. I'm gonna start with that. Good introduction. This one seems to be playing hopscotch off of its pivot points. So pulling this support, look at that, nice clean. Ooh. It does look like you might be trying to, maybe the start of a giant symmetrical triangle, right? I thought that was you in my life. It looked like a tiny picture of like your old profile picture. Anyway, this one, that's a rejection. So you not only get a reversal candle here, but again you get the continuation candle here. This did bounce off of the pivot, so underneath $11, you're likely going to retest that support. That support is likely going to happen at 10.15. Now, it could even wick down. You could see somewhere in this range, but this is what, in my opinion, looking at the respect coming from this support, I would anticipate further consolidation and tight price action. Let's see, what do you have, earnings? What happened? Earnings already happened, and I don't see any data on this one, so either they hit or they didn't, but likely you're going to see some consolidation here. So if it continues to trade in range, like I said, below 11.16, that's the pivot point there, you are likely to see that 10.15 to 18 mark. So if you guys want me to take your request, make sure to hop into the link. The link is in the bio for the YouTube. So okay, so the next request that we have, how much lower for Neo can Neo go as far as China wants them to? So I hope you see how I kind of lined up that support. Guys, feel free to pause the video, screenshot, these charts that I see. If you need me to send or post it somewhere, and if you're in the Discord, I can post it for you or something of that nature. But that way you can kind of look at it and see what I've done, see what did he do, why did he do it. Nobody knows. He's a madman. All right, so let's go ahead. Hey, what's up, everybody? Some new people on the YouTube. All right, Brian G watching. Did I miss anything? I feel like I missed one. AA. AA. Oh, I love the chart Microsoft. Oh my God. It needs some milk. I can't. God. Wow, that thing, that is the start to a huge dump. So it just crossed the pivot point on the daily today. What happened? This has got to be some sort of news. I see similar spills, right? So if you look at this mark across the board, right? So this is a line in which sellers take over. So check this out, right? Right there. So look how many times Alacola spills. Right there at the underneath 40, spill. Spill. Same thing there. That's at all-time high. So with Alacola right now, I'm gonna go out to the weekly here before I open my mouth anymore. Hold on. That's not good. Yeah, that's not good. This one's likely going back down into the 30s. 32. I don't think a buy is available for this one unless the candle closes differently, which that's a massive, massive bearish candle here on the weekly. So can I explain what a pivot point is? Yes. So just in simple terms, it's basically going to find the levels, right? So if you ever see anybody set levels, and I'll just show you live, right? So check this out. I'm going to set a level, and it's more than likely going to line up with a pivot point. So not even look at the pivot point, and then where are we at? We're pretty much on the dot. So what it's going to do is it's going to find an average, right? So rather than the pivot point being here at the tops, it's setting the pivot point here at more of an average of where the rejections occur. So that way, if you're on a lower time frame, so what it's basically going to do is give you on the weekly, on the daily, and on the hourly, and on the 5-minute bounce levels and resistance levels. A lot of people will use the pivot point, and this is what, especially with me using the Red Rover example and stuff like that, the pivot point and the hourly pivot point is money. That's where I really like to play stuff off of if it has good volume. If it crosses below it during the day or finishes it below it during the day, a lot of the times you'll see continuation to the downside. So on Alacola, with using the pivot points, the pivot point is going to be where the most volatility occurs, and a lot of times that'll be on a supply or a demand zone. But I suspect that below today, now it's highly likely you see just a little bit of a bounce, maybe consolidation here after such a strong drop. Right now, I think you could go to the hourly time frame, and you could likely set it on this high here and draw that down. So more than likely, just looking at this downtrend right now, I would suspect that Alacola could go for a simple retest of around 38.75. So 38.75 first, and then second retest, possibly target, is around 31 flat. Blame the market shit for this one. For what one? All right. I use the Fibonacci. No, I don't think it does. Anna, you want Upstart? Upstart has some puts come in for it today. Oh, it's the start of the shit. Alright, so more than likely, Upstart is going to trend down to the 9-day moving average. This is cyclical. It happens quite often. This is where Upstart does this a lot. It actually has a gap to fill too at 184, or actually starting at 188 all the way down to 178. But as you can see here in previous Upstart runs, strong bounce off of earnings, complete dog water. Then strong bounce off of earnings, super hot dog water. So right now, strong bounce off of earnings and pretty much like some oatmeal water. So I would imagine somewhere pull back down to around 180. So I honestly, I'm going to look at that. I would mark these levels below 188. Retest of 181. That's using the pivot there as well. Well, I like 178, but what pair? What's going on with PFE? I don't have flow algo. My Discord has flow in it. So you said PFE? So there you go. $55 strike, 617 PFA, $280,000. 50, 1015. That came in at 1037. $102. So that one came in later at the day. Can you show the ribbon indicator? Yes, I can. Shop. I got the shop. Yeah, I can look at shop. Yeah, I'll turn it on. There you go. And I'll talk about it. Okay, so as you can see here, guys, let's rewind. Let's rewind. Okay, so let's look at Upstart. It is now May 25th, 2021. I am back in time, and I'm playing puss this time. No, just kidding. So tell me that this doesn't look exactly like Upstart did now. And this is how Upstart's price action has been historically, so we can only go off what we know. The whole ribbon indicator dragging ass. The 9-day moving average dragging the ass. So right now we press play and we see that as long as it stays above the whole ribbon indicator, it continues to make these jolts into higher highs. Now what happens here? Let's go back and let's do another replay, right? So let's replay. Let's go back here, right? Boom. Now it is March of 24, or March, oh God, this is when the market dumped. Man, could we go back there? That'd be sweet. Anyway, so same deal, we get earnings coming in, and this could have been obviously because of the market pullback, but we press play, and we see the same type of price action, right? Jumps up, shots up off of that 9-day moving average, right? And then once it gets close and that 9 starts to curl over, it breaks the 9-day and it heads right into that whole ribbon indicator. So more than likely, looking at the way that it moves, let's look at it now. Earnings. So based on the way that we see Upstart move, we have more downside, right? A 9-day moving average retest is highly likely, so 180. What moving averages do I use? I use the 20, 50, and 200-day EMA. I use the 9-day moving average. I use the 500 HMA. Why is that at 9? This one doesn't even have an HMA yet. But anyway, that's what I'm looking at there. So SPRT actually did that breakdown. BYSCI continued downtrend. It does look that way. We'll take a look at that in just a second. I got some requests ahead of you. Yeah, so hopefully that helps you guys on Upstart, Anna. I should just clip that tonight and just post that as an Upstart breakdown. Anyway, let's go look at Microsoft now. All right, so if you guys got the Microsoft calls today, what the fuck is all I have to say right now. Excuse me, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on YouTube, but I just did. So, excuse my language. Microsoft here in a just a crazy ass chop zone, and we've been talking about this one forever. And what did we say yesterday? We said that, what does a thin ribbon represent? A thin ribbon represents, when we use this whole ribbon indicator, it means weakness, and that means weakness up and weakness down. So that means any type of volatility up or down can break it either way, below you, above you, etc., etc. So say Microsoft was back here and we ended up breaking below, it would have made for a very weak support. I have been taking a look at Zynga. We can possibly look at that one tonight. I think I'm going to be up past 10 o'clock. So anyway, I have this one and have had this one in a channel here for a long time. And I'm going to pull this back up, because when you switch time frames, unfortunately, these channels get messed up. You got your linear deviation. This music is groovy. All right, so ignoring the garbage hot dog water lines, we can see that Microsoft well maintained here in this channel. So my target here is around 305. Now this could, depending on the time frame in which this occurs, of course this could happen And we took a $300 call today. I don't know if anybody took a 295, whatever you guys took. This was a insane bounce, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I was waiting for some type of stupid reversal, and that's exactly what we got today. It's just a absolutely parabolic and dumb reversal. And I think that the only thing you can do in these senses is when it climbs above the 9-day moving average, guys. And if you guys want, you can use this strategy right here. You can turn on VWAP, right? If you're a scalper, wait for VWAP to cross the 9-day moving average. Do you see that crossover there? You can do that on the hourly, right? So watch that cross occur and then look for the volume and then continuation to the upside, and then have your targets mapped out. And that's especially for day trades. And it also works, guys, to take a little bit more specifically. So look, right? You get an initial crossover, but boom, right there. You end up getting that nice crossover. And that's what you're looking for whenever you're looking for the pre-market breakout. Man, this is where I signaled Microsoft right here, guys. And then just, oh shit, that thing's crazy. All right, so let's, oh man. You guys can always pause this forever. So, inverted head and shoulders on the daily for Netflix. Yes, without even looking at it. Yes, big stepper. Yes. All right. That was the 9 EMA here. One second. If you guys want to hop on YouTube, the link is in the bio. You can actually see my chart and watch the entire live that was just posted here. So please, I already broke down SPY. I did a full breakdown on Upstart. You can guys go look at the chat. I've done full breakdowns on a couple different tickers here. So make sure you guys hop on the YouTube and check that out. Oh my god, I just lost some chunk of my brain, I think. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. Yeah, SPRT, if you guys want me to check it out, I'll look at it. So I think I just read a question, SMH, or HMA, the whole moving average that is developed by Alan Hole. It's a smooth moving average and very fast. It almost eliminates lag, right, to improve the smoothing over time. So it's a smoother, and depending on the time behind it, a lot of people use the 500 HMA as a major level for all time frames. A longer period HMA may be used to identify trend. If the HMA is rising and the prevailing trend is rising, it may be easier to indicate and may be better to enter long positions. If the HMA is falling, the trend is also falling, indicating it may be better to enter a short position. The shorter period HMA may be used for, or you could use it for entry signals in the direction of the trend or prevailing trend. A longer entry signal when the prevailing trend is rising, and that occurs when the HMA turns up, and a short entry signal when the prevailing trend is falling. That occurs when the HMA is down. So a lot of times when you cross below the HMA on that higher time frame, you'll see extended downside. So. Yeah, be careful on UPS puts. Wait for it to kind of close up. No, those are EMAs. 20, 50, 200. All right, guys. It is 10 o'clock. RVP, and then we got shop. Sorry, I got you guys. Is this correct? RVP. I gotta be honest with you, this one rejected that HMA right there, and you guys can see that. Look at the 500 HMA as a respectable trend. Rejection right off of it. This one below the $10 is going to continue. The downside does look like it could potentially bounce back up to $12 retest, and then I would be careful taking it anywhere above, or I wouldn't touch it really until it gets out of that $13 range, but $13.75. Shop. Shop is on the is actually getting really close to the 500 HMA, which means that below 1450, basically 1450, below 1450, this thing dumps. And I think the first level is going to be 1420, and then 14. Really, the break of 14. Let's go ahead and throw a pivot point strategy up here. Yeah, so we actually have rejected the pivot point. We're getting squeezed between the pivot, our 9-day moving average here, and you can see that squeeze is starting to occur. I could imagine that. Yes, we're going to look at SPRT in just a second. So I could imagine here, I don't see a TTM firing yet, but I could imagine that just setting alert here at 1500, I have 1505, and then setting alert at 1455 is going to be a good way to keep this thing corralled until it decides which direction that it's going to make. Can I? Yeah, okay. Nike. I actually signaled Nike puts, and I was really pissed that I didn't take them. That happens a lot. All right, so I gotta be honest with you on Nike right now. You're heading down to a pivot point, right? And that pivot point is at 163. Below that one, and honestly, that would be a good place to take it short. But you could potentially see a pullback to, I'd say, 160 and 157 is highly likely underneath that mark on Nike. So. Also, guys, if I'm constantly setting alerts, let me teach you guys something really quickly. When you set an alert, you can write what you need to put, right? You can write that. So there you go. Now I know exactly what I want to remind myself. So set little reminders for yourself as well. This one looks for possible continued downside here. Possible retest of 164, or 167.80, 160 or 168, and then so far respecting the 9-day moving average here as well. So I would suspect that further downside at a break of this low, it does look rather pinched up. Yeah, so watch this one above 166 to potentially bounce back up. Looks like it's just starting to establish a new downtrend. So 166.64 would be that last mark. All right. You're good. All right, guys. real quick, guys. The free part of the Discord is in open again, so that's in our TikTok bio. Yeah, I'm just gonna start putting notes in my alerts this afternoon. It's a must. Short-term memory is in a strong suit. Please, that's why we build a trading system that fits our personality, right? So, what software program is that? This is a TradingView. And if you're looking to sign up for TradingView, the link is in our link tree on TikTok and Twitter. So I think you'll get a discount because you have to pay for extra market data. So, all right. So I saw PTIX. Dude, I'll be straight up with you. I can't chart something like this. I'm not going to pretend like I'm somebody who can do anything with this. This is likely purely news, right? And that's all. I mean, I can say you can see that you're on your HMA, right? I would say that whatever the hell they do, they're just waiting for that to happen, and it's about as simple as that. Like I said, when it comes to therapeutics and pharmaceuticals, a lot of times it's just the news, right? So whatever it is they're trying to get done, they get it done. That's what I would be looking at. So. Jose, that was. I'm not even good. Good night, man. I had to read that like 4 times, like as if there was a comment there, a comma, because everybody calls me G. So, I'm sorry. I'm wild. All right, I'm sorry. All right. So what else? I think we got everything. I set alerts on Shop. Shop might be the play tomorrow. For real, for real. We'll watch Shop. I think I'm gonna write that down. All right. I've done the Apple. If you guys go. Okay, next, sure, I could do UPS. Those of you just tuning in, guys, I'm on YouTube right now. The link is in the bio, and I have covered a lot of the stocks that you guys are asking for already, and you can just go and watch what is already been recorded. So right now, I have a cup and handle setup potential on UPS. It's a lower time frame cup and handle, 15-minute kind of rounded bottom. At the moment, I don't know what time frame you kind of have your chart set up on. I already see a well-established downtrend here, leading us and pushing us down to the bottom of this channel, which is at 190.33. I'm not sure if you have this like charted on a really, really higher time frame. If you do, you're likely watching UPS, I would imagine, to potentially retest this support. So coming right off of here. So that's one of the reasons why UPS is likely going to fill its gap to the upside first. So I don't know if that matches what you were looking at. So Unboxing Tech Talk, that's a cool name. We'll get that one. Hold on one second. Make sure to hop into YouTube, guys. That's Apple is not quite in that downtrend, but it does look like it's going to reverse. So, all right, guys. Well, oh, you were talking to Brian. That's hilarious. Yo. Good night, my Jose. That's hilarious. I'm sorry. Alrighty, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and I'll take a look at QS. What is that green indicator? If you guys want to see my indicators, we're gonna do SPRT and end the night with that one, and QS and BYSI. So we're gonna go ahead and end the night, guys. Thank you for all of your donations as well. Those are awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, most importantly, thank you guys for just supporting the YouTube channel and social medias in general. It is very much appreciated. So, all right. I'll look at that one. Wow. So, yes, support actually has a crazy setup. I don't know what the short flow. Let me go look. I don't even know how to use our own fucking bot. Our own bot. You guys are better at the bots than I am now. So I don't see it on the Wall Street bets. Hold on. All right, I don't see it on there right now. That would be important to know. So let's just go out to the higher time frame here. I mean, it depends on what shares are available to short. 68%. Oh my God. Hey, British kid. You see how you make me like call you by your net, like your like that stuff. Should you sell Macy's? I don't know. Maybe tomorrow it might keep ripping. It actually ended the day with a pretty bullish pattern, man. I covered that one on the YouTube. So. Love you too. Oh God. I would watch this one. You know what I would do here because on support is watch the. So we're at a pivot point for support. 680 or 885. I would set a mark there. I wouldn't take a look and I'm sorry. Okay, so oh, Macy's was a killer play today, dude. I'm surprised you didn't fucking short that. Or not short that, but hold that. Anyway, so above $9, 932, and then right there to 10. If this does not have a lot of shorts to, or share, if this one does not have a lot of shorts to, shares to short. Come on, dyslexia. Stupid. And I'm gonna write this one down just to keep an eye on, SPRT. But, that one, it really, there's not much technical analysis I can do other than reassure you that you are on a lower time frame support right here, and you are sitting on a very pivotal point here. So with the pivot point, so hey Jose, man, I really appreciate that, dude. Thank you. Hey, I'm gonna throw this idea out there as well. I don't know if Patreon does it or what, but I'm thinking about, I know some of you guys would like a little bit more in detail breakdowns, like especially on the weekend. So I may be opening up like a Patreon where like for like a tip or something like that, where you guys can send those of you outside of the Discord can send me a request and I'll do a full video breakdown for a long-term trend or short-term trend or medium trend for whomever or whatever. So anyway, so that one, BYSI. What's the potential realistic high for support? I mean, really, you would go into what's called price exploratory mode. Anywhere above 1120, it would just be an evaluation of volume and price action. And so, I mean, I can't really give you that. I can only so like if you trade it live with us, like, you know, like that would be where I could say, okay, yeah, I see continuation here. Okay, I'm seeing a reversal signs here. So, I mean, I actually called support and played it a couple times already. So, yes. All right, guys. I I gotta set it down. It's 10:17. Hopefully I didn't miss any of your tickers. If I did, please feel free to join us in the morning or DM me on Discord or wherever and leave that for me, and I'll take a look at it. I'll dig into the Patreon thing tonight. Those of you who are looking to sign up with Benzinga Pro for that scanner, please feel free to DM me for the discount code or the link to sign up. So anyway, thank you guys again. Appreciate you so much. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm excited. Hopefully we can have a killer Friday. Take advantage of some of these options. Looks like we have some pretty good setups on shop, some higher paying stocks. So, all right. You guys have a wonderful evening. See you tomorrow. Peace. Oh yeah, very much so. Jose, I didn't see your message, man, but thank you again for the tip on that one, dude. All right, guys. Good night. Yeah, same time, or you guys can catch me a little bit